Hey, this is Anthony Cirillo. Welcome to my article on the devil in decluttering, how to do it while keeping your sanity and having fun. We know most people want to age in place. According to the AARP, 3 out of 4 people aged 50 plus want to stay in their homes and communities as they age, but just 59% anticipate that they will be able to do so. Why do they anticipate that? Because if you haven't made the arrangements to declutter your house and make it a safe house, it can result in problems later in life. Now, a lot of times when people talk about decluttering, we want to automatically go down this crazy path of, oh, they're just hoarders, people with a lot of stuff. Now, I have a lot of stuff in my house, but I would not be clinically called a hoarder. The International OCD Foundation shows that 1 in 20 people are hoarding. That's still a significant amount of people. They actually call it Diogenes syndrome, characterized by self-neglect, squalor, social withdrawal, apathy, compulsive hoarding of garbage or animals, plus a lack of shame. So does that sound like you? Probably not. The Centers for Disease Control labels hoarding an epidemic, and the World Health Organization actually has an international task force. But nonetheless, clutter can sneak up on you. One of my good friends is Dorothy Brenninger, Dorothy, the organizer, who is on the A&E show Hoarders. She tells us that in our youth, this is part of the life cycle. In our youth, we establish our identity by acquiring things. And when we age, it means managing the stuff, and then eventually our kids' stuff, and then our parents' stuff. And then when you get wise enough, it's like, what am I going to do with the stuff? So whether you're doing this for yourself or your parents, the one thing you should know is that you're never going to make your parents happy during the process. So get uncomfortable, or get comfortable, I should say, with being uncomfortable. So you have to set expectations and limitations about how far you will go with a parent in doing this. But the most important skill you need, and Dorothy will verify this, is to listen. Mom and dad do have an opinion. So what Dorothy does is she goes from room to room and she takes notes with older people to understand what it is that they want and help them prioritize things they want. And, she talks about having zones where you put different items, like it might be your CDs and DVDs in one, and, something else, jewelry in another. And she always says to save the sentimental stuff for last, because that's the last stuff that you're going to want to go through, because it's the hardest and will take the longest. So as you're putting things together, taking the inventory, then it becomes, how do you get rid of them? Well, Dorothy uses a 5-point system, and it's kind of interesting, and I'm going to let her explain it.
Using the 5-point value system, here's what you do. You say, okay, here's this lovely dish set. Mom, you told me, Dad, you told me you loved it. It was your grandmother's, then your mother's, now it's yours. You're telling me that this is what you would rate a 5. This is the most important thing. You're not going to get rid of it. It is that important. Good. Now everybody understands on a 0 to 5 scale how important it is, right? It's a 5. Now, every other dish that we go through, everything that we touch, every other glass item, we ask, okay, Mom, how does this one rate next to this?
Next to the 5, yeah.
Yeah. And if it's a 2, a 1, or a 0, we can let it go. But remember, we want to keep those 4s and 5s.
Well, thank you to my friend Dorothy. So the next part's kind of fun. I read an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer about a couple that was following what they call the Swedish art of death cleaning. Essentially, this is something that they do in the Scandinavian countries to declutter. And there's actually a book, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, How to Make Your Loved Ones' Lives Easier and your life more pleasant. And essentially what this means is getting rid of your things before you pass. Now, there's some normal channels that you can do that with, right? You could, have the kids, come over and look at stuff. A lot of our kids don't want our stuff anymore. You can give it to charity, things like that. You can put it in a will, and then it becomes somebody else's headache. But what this one couple did in DC, actually, Karen and Fritz Mulder-User, they actually had a downsizing party based on the idea of death cleaning. They sent out invitations, they served food, and basically labeled everything that was a giveaway. People came, they had fun, they got things, you know? So that's one way to handle it. If you don't want to have a party, you could sell stuff online or in a garage sale or donate it, as we said. And if something's that sentimental, you might want to use a digital organizing tool and take a picture of it so you at least you have the memories. Like we have a grand piano downstairs, and obviously that will not come to the next place we go if there is a next place, but I will certainly want the memories of it. And when you're downsizing, you might find fun stuff. I think of Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation when he went up in the attic and got stuck up there, and to keep warm, he put on these crazy clothes. When you're getting rid of stuff, you know, if it's clothes, maybe try some on, have a little fun with it. And then if you need to get help from a professional or a sibling or a child, you know, there's a whole a movement called Senior Move Managers. You might want to look into them as well. So you ready for some Swedish death cleaning? Let's get started. Thanks. Hey, this is Anthony. If you like what you're viewing and you like our videos, hit the subscribe button. And then hit the bell icon as well. And every time I post a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching.